The film Spotlight, now showing in San Diego, accurately portrays how the Globe relied on research about sex and celibacy in the church by a former San Diego priest. Take a look.
When you're a poor kid from a poor family, and when a priest pays attention to you, it's a big deal. How do you say no to God?
His startling research found 6% of Roman Catholic priests had molested minors. Joining me to talk about his role in uncovering the scandal is researcher and former priest Richard Sipe. And Richard, when did your research begin, and what did you start out researching?
Well, I was in 1960. I was a priest and a monk, and I was commissioned by my superiors to study about the mental health problems of Roman Catholic priests. And so I was sent to the Menninger Foundation and later to a hospital that specialized in this.
I see. Now, how did you get priests, moving it forward a little bit, how did you get priests to admit that they had sexually abused children?
Well, many of them were patients. Many of them were in trouble. Many were consultations by bishops and superiors, what do I do with this? And many were victims, people who came with anxiety or depression, and they wouldn't say anything, and little by little as you helped them uncover their pain, they would say, Father did this to me when I was 6 years old, or 11 years old, or 13 years old. And somehow you put it all together. It's a little bit like the process of the investigative journalism. I think that's why we hit it off so well, because we had to approach the problem that same way. We know there's a problem here on the top, but how do we get to what's going on with it?
In digging down a little deeper on that, you found about 6% of priests had been accused of abuse. What did that mean in real numbers?
Well, what that means is that there are, on the bishop's list, 6,000 priests. If you take over a period of years, 100,000 priests, 6,000, they are named. Now, this is whether they're named or not. See, Boston eventually discovered 10%. Los Angeles, we can record 11.5% of priests getting involved with minors.
So that was just the starting number. Now, in this film, you were never seen, only your voice was heard on a conference call. Is that an accurate depiction?
It is. It's wonderful. My wife was a psychiatrist, and I did meet with a whole team in October of '01. And we met for a whole afternoon, met with Marty Barron, et cetera, et cetera. But then the consultation was on the phone. And I know I met with the director and the writer, and they kind of half apologized with not having a face or a body with me. And I said, no, this is much more powerful because it gets closely to the accurate kind of thing. These are the journalists working on this.
Let me ask you about that. Why did you agree to talk with the Globe's reporters and journalists?
Oh, why not? I've had over 5,000 interviews since 1990 when my book came out and said that at any one time, only 50% of priests are practicing celibacy. That was the main discovery. The 6% happened to gain prominence because of the legal system and so on.
I see. How has the local Catholic diocese responded to this movie's release?
I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody who's responded to it. Mark Sauer just told us that the national bishop sent out a letter to every parish telling them that this movie is coming out and how to respond to it, etc. They're still defensive. The system has not changed.
And that was my next question.
Okay.
The system hasn't changed,
no.
But what's being done, there are actions being done when the Pope was here to ensure that this isn't happening like it was before.
Well, the Pope's attitude is wonderful. If that attitude prevailed in the church and in the hierarchy and superiors, the system really would be gone. I've often said the system comes from the top. If there were no tolerance in the bishops and superiors and confessors and rectors for sexual activity by their priests, we would not have this problem.
Well, I have to end it there. I want to let folks know that they can see more on Spotlight and where it's showing. It's kpbs.org. Researcher and former priest Richard Sipe, thank you.
Thank you.